throwing shit at the pilot. Niggas be broken, be sobbing, but still talking shit like they violent. Niggas is broke.
So this week, Paul Pierce played his last game in Game 7 versus the Utah Jazz as a Los Angeles Clipper. So now that he's retired, we can now officially reflect on his whole career. He was a member of the Washington Wizards, the Clippers, the Nets, and obviously the Boston Celtics. To me, it's pretty obvious that Paul Pierce is a legend, but there are some people that actually consider him overrated. Yes, he had the numbers, but was he really as good as people made him out to be? Or was his whole legacy just a result of Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen joining with him in 2008? Honestly, he's one of the few that, for the most part, are pretty, they're pretty fairly rated. There are some like Draymond and Brandon Jennings that feel like people consider him on like Kobe's tier and bash him for it. That is far from the truth. Even people in Boston who have followed Paul Pierce's career, his whole career, wouldn't say that he's on Kobe's tier of legendary. And speaking of those two goons, let me address their statements. So both of those goons basically said that Paul Pierce is overrated simply because he thinks he's all that asking for a farewell tour when he only had one ring. I'm sorry, but honestly, when has he asked for a farewell tour? Oh, he said that this will be my last season and that he's gonna miss the game. He never said that he wanted a farewell tour. If anything, really, it was only Kobe in the past couple of decades that really asked for a farewell tour. People just respect Pierce enough to give him props for a great career. And I'm pretty sure one ring plus all the other things Paul Pierce has done is worth a farewell tour. So you're telling me if Vince Carter said that next season was his last season, he wouldn't get a farewell tour, or he didn't deserve a farewell tour? Pierce's career was simply better than Vince Carter's, but no one would bat an eye if Vince Carter got a farewell tour. But going back to the question, I don't think Paul Pierce is overrated in any sense. If there's anything here to be discussed, it would be the fact that he's slightly underrated. Check it out. Paul Pierce has the second most career points out of everyone who's played for the Boston Celtics, only behind John Havlicek. And even compared to Havlicek, if you look at his whole career, considering the Wizards and the other teams he played for, he actually has exactly 2 points more than Havlicek, which to me is pretty funny. But going back to the Celtics franchise alone, that's more points than Larry Bird, Bill Russell, Kevin McHale, all of these other legends that you can't write the history of basketball without. He has more points than those guys. He's a 10-time All-Star, a 4-time member of the All-NBA team, a champion, the guy who broke the Celtics' 20-plus year curse of no championships and won the Finals MVP that year. There's literally, I'll put it in the description, man. There's literally a 14-minute video on YouTube of Paul Pierce hitting clutch shots. 14 freaking minutes of just clutch shots. 14 minutes. You have to be damn clutch if you have 14 minutes of clutch shots under your name. That doesn't even count the shots that he hit that were clutch that just weren't in the last minutes of the fourth quarter. Like the one he hit in Game 1 of the 2008 Finals coming out of the wheelchair. Again, that is a different subject, but still, you can't deny that that was clutch at the time. And to be honest, going outside of the accomplishments, I really could make an argument that Paul Pierce is a top 50 player of all time. Going off the top of my head, I'm not thinking right now. I can't think of 50, the top 50 players of all time. And if I did, I'd probably make it a separate video. But just thinking off the top of my head, I can't think of 49 players that had a better career or were better than Paul Pierce. I'm sorry, I can't. So in conclusion, I just don't think he is overrated. In what way is he overrated? I think most, if not all of us, simply considered Paul Pierce as one of the most lethal scorers in NBA history, who are one of the few who stuck through with their organization until they won a championship. If anything, Pierce may be the only one to wait as long as he did without that much success, besides maybe Jordan, until they won a championship. Because we look at guys like Kareem, Wade, Magic, Bird, Kobe, Shaq, they had Hall of Fame players and Hall of Fame teams early in their careers. Hell, even Jordan had Scottie Pippen 3 years coming into the league. But yes, I know he wasn't effective until like his 6th season. I get that. Guys like Dirk and AI did go through the rough years, but AI already had been to the finals in like his 5th or 6th season in the league, and Dirk's had many chances to go to the finals early in his career before 2011. He just simply didn't get it done. LeBron left for Miami. Hakeem was already in the finals in 1986 with Ralph Sampson. Duncan had David Robinson out the gate. Everyone else either got their success early, never got success, or left elsewhere. Pierce is the only one I could really think of that stuck through the tough times until they won a championship. Because if you guys didn't know, up until 2008, all he had to show for was basically an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, and he lost to the Nets in 6. That's basically, that is 10 years where Pierce was the main guy and never reached a NBA Finals appearance. Yes, I do know he didn't play his whole career in Boston, but he played there until they won a championship. He already did everything he could. He didn't leave until like 2013, 2014. He paid his dues, he paid his time. And you know, when he left, it was just a mutual agreement between the fans, the Celtics organization, and KG and Paul Pierce that the time has come. It's time to part ways. The Celtics weren't going to win with Paul Pierce and KG. Paul Pierce and KG weren't going to win with the Celtics. The Celtics needed to rebuild. Paul Pierce and KG wanted to win now. So at that point, it's like, you know, you know what I mean? Like, they had to trade him. They were like, what, 36, 37? So I don't fault. I don't put that against Paul Pierce. You know what I mean? So shout out to Paul Pierce, man. This is just a video dedicated to the man for having a great career and really for not being overrated. Whoever says he's overrated is just dumb. All right. I'ma miss you, man. I'ma miss you, the truth. One of the guys that actually, you know, one of my early influences in me loving the game. That Big Four in Boston and Kobe's Lakers. Those were my 2 biggest influences. So shout out again to Paul Pierce. But meanwhile, let me watch The Tooth. If y'all saw Game 1 versus the Wizards, you know what I'm talking about. But meanwhile, I'm gonna watch that guy torch the Wizards tonight. But with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I am out. Peace.